Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. I've already went ahead and started my brows. I'm using this contour palette here from V.Rose. It's a cream contour palette, which I really like it because it has multiple different shades where you can kind of customize your own. I'm also going to prime my face with the Benefit Porefessionals primer. So here I'm just finishing up my brows. I like to use a little bit of that concealer and bring it down so that way I can use it for a nice base for my concealer and the pigment will pop out a little bit more. And I'm just perfecting my brows. They don't need to be sisters, they need to be like fraternal twins, you know, like almost similar but not all the way. Alright, so I'm taking my Bare Minerals foundation and my Huda Beauty foundation, and I'm mixing these two together to create my perfect shade because one is too light and the other one right now is too dark. So I'm going to make a foundation baby. Okay, so as you can see, it's super orange, but I love the coverage on it. It's matte. My face is super light compared to my body, but I'd rather go darker in my foundation than be out here looking ashy. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and blend that in with, this is the Beauty Blender Chill. I love Beauty Blender. It's just, like I said before, perfect combination for all foundations. So I'm taking that Bare Pro in the shade 24 and I'm mixing that in with the Huda Beauty. That one was super light and it never matched me, but I feel like a lot of times my foundation is darker than my actual skin, so I always keep that in handy so that way I can kind of tweak my foundation as needed. I'm being very careful around my edges, my baby hair, my lace, because you do not want foundation in there, okay? You want your lace to be where? Not there. Alright. So just go ahead and blend that out. I'm taking the new Huda Beauty concealer, the Overachiever concealer. I actually like the applicator. I feel like it's like almost like a metal, and I like that it can get in between the tear troughs. So the tear troughs are, I'll show you in a second. Tear troughs are like that inner corner right there in your eyes. I like that it can get in that corner, and also like it's metal, so it's kind of cooling. Now I'm gonna go ahead and blend that out, and you can see my reaction. It was like super full coverage. I was like, ooh, I like her. I like her. So I always use a little of the excess concealer and I put it underneath my jawbone here. It just makes your contour to stand out more without having to put on such a dark, pronounced contour, you know? Just go ahead and blend that out. Oh my god, I feel like I was gonna like blend my whole eyeball out just for a second. And then down the nose. So I didn't really like do too much highlighting and contouring on my nose area because like I said, my nose is super flat, and whenever you overdo it on my nose, like you could definitely tell when I turn to the side. So I kind of chilled on that. I'm gonna bake with this Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Powder, and I got the shade Cinnamon. Now this is my first time ever trying out this product, and the Sephora I went to, they only had one shade available, so I just grabbed it, but I'm not too sure if they have other shades. I'll have to check them out. But as you can see here, it's very warm, and usually I don't use like warm tone colors to bake. I like a either translucent colorless powder, but I wanted to try something different. Oh hell no! I was not feeling that at all. Totally giving me Oompa Loompa vibes there. I'm just taking that powder and I'm pressing it into my skin all over. I never really dust off the loose powder. I like to press it into my skin and kind of use it everywhere else to set. I took the KKW brightening powder number 3, and I'm going to use that to kind of brighten up the under eye area because I wasn't expecting the powder to be that dark. And honestly, once it sets on liquid or it gets moist, it definitely oxidizes. So I would say definitely get a shade lighter in that Huda Beauty loose powder. And you know, my favorite, Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Cannot go wrong. That is my Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzer. I'm using my bronzer as a contour. I don't like to contour with like a gray tone. That's not flattering on me. Um, I like more warmer bronzers, so I'm gonna use that. And I also like this because it's very pigmented, and I almost feel like it gives a little bit extra coverage. Like I could totally see this being like a powder foundation if they made like, you know, more shades. I'm just gonna chisel those cheekbones, honey. Get a nice little facelift for the freak. Okay. So I'm just gonna contour my nose, and I'm using like an angled eyeshadow brush to contour my nose. And I usually take that contour, bronzer shade, whatever you want to call it, and I take it into my eyebrows so everything looks very natural, very seamless. And I like to take my time with this, because if it's not blended properly, like I said, it's gonna look too weird. And I don't know if you see that white cast that I'm getting in the middle of my brows. It looks like a translucent unibrow or something like that. But the KKW brightening powder was giving me almost like, it was giving me like a glow, but it was like a shiny glow. Like although it did brighten, it was more like a shiny and give like a silver, like a silverish flashback to it, and I didn't like that at all. And you see here I'm also using it to define my jawbone. It's called like a reverse contour, so it just helps to bring out the contour, but I didn't really love it. It was kind of a little bit too white for me, so I'm going back in with my beauty blender that has that Huda Beauty powder on there. Since it's a little bit more darker, it's gonna help to tame that brightness that I just put on. And I'm also using the brightening powder to define my nose. And I actually like doing this with my nose. It gave it like a subtle highlight without being too pronounced. And I'm just going back in and blending everything out once more. All about the blend, girl. All about the blends. And I'm trying to get rid of that stupid little white shadow there. So this is oh yeah, I love this palette only because, let me tell you why. It's inspired by Huda Beauty, her Obsession palette, but it's completely, like, it's literally like the exact dupe, and it's super cheap. It's from Bad Habits Cosmetics, and I will link it below so you guys can go get it. But also support Huda Beauty too, because she was the originator of these palettes. So I do not want to, you know, take away from her coins, but I'm just saying some of you guys are on a budget, so I'm just trying to put you down. Okay, so I'm taking that shade here and I'm putting it all over my crease and lid. This is going to be my transition shade, and I'm using my favorite brush, guys, Smashbox. This is actually an old one, and they don't make it anymore. The new brushes that they came out with, they made one similar to it, but it's not exactly like it. And I love this one, and I hope I never lose it, because I don't know, I'll have a heart attack. So I'm taking a clean eyeshadow brush and I'm just blending all that together. Now, as you can see, like, something weird is happening with the eyeshadow. I feel like it would stick, but it would, when I try to blend it out, it would almost disappear and create like a weird, like, I don't know, just did something weird. And you could see compared to my both eyes, like one side is blended out super nicely and then the other one's kind of like So the next shade I'm taking is Slip Dress, and I'm putting that exactly where I put the first shade, except not as higher, almost underneath it for a gradient effect. Actually, I wasn't even gonna post this video because I didn't like how the eyeshadow was coming out, but I was like, what the heck, this is a very realistic get ready with me, and ish happens, okay? So and I'm just taking that color here and I'm putting it on my brow bone and I'm blending it out again with the clean eyeshadow blending brush. And I'm going back in with my Smashbox brush and I'm taking the shade there, and I like to put the eyeshadow almost like in the corner of my nose area. And then this shade here, it's supposed to be like brown, but as you can see, it's not even layering properly. I was getting so frustrated because I was adding so many layers, and it was not like laying nicely on top of each other. Plus there was a little bit of fallout. But with fallout, I don't really mind it as long as you take like a eyeshadow brush or a fluff brush with a little translucent powder and dust it away. So here you see me using my fingers, because my fingers, honestly, it was picking up that brown way better than a brush did. So I just went the old school way and used my fingers. But as you can see, like, I feel like the shadows are very patchy. It's just not looking right, but I made it work. I'm using the Huda Beauty concealer, the same one I used earlier to highlight. I'm using that to cut my crease, and I actually like this. I like the concealer. I really, really, really like it. The Sephora I went to, they didn't have all the shades. They had just got it in, so I got the shade number, I believe, 22. But I definitely want one that's maybe a little bit lighter, just like maybe one shade lighter and like one shade darker. Okay, and this concealer brush that I'm using, I actually got at the beauty supply store. They had like little makeup brushes there for super cheap, and it's actually, I actually like this one because it's super small and I can get into the crease a little bit better, and you get more of a precise, you know, application when you're putting on concealer. So you make sure that it's nice and cut. It does not have to be perfect because we're gonna blend it out anyways. And when I do a cut crease, I don't like it to be super sharp unless that's the intention, you know, but that's not the intention for this one. So I'm just gonna outline that, and I'm adding the 24 karat eyeshadow from that same palette. And honestly, this is probably the best shade in that eyeshadow palette. I didn't have any issues with it. It was super pigmented, super creamy. It went on really nicely, as you can see. There was no fallout. Yeah, that was like the best shade out of this palette. And I just wanna bring it all the way to the center, not really to the corner. And I like to use like a flat concealer brush for that. I'm going back in with Slip Dress, and I'm putting it over the 24 karat shade and over the brown shade that was on the outer corner, because you want to make sure it blends really nicely, and you want like an overlapping effect, you know. You don't want just like choppy shades in between. I'm taking a small detailer. This is like a pointed eyeshadow blending brush, and I'm using that to blend out the crease where I cut it. And you see, I did not like it. Like, I was just getting so upset. I was really about to just turn the camera off and just say peace, but I was like, nah, this is like real life problems. Okay, so now you see how I sprayed my face with the Urban Decay setting spray, and then the eyeshadows literally came to life. It just made it pop so much more. That's the power of the all-nighter. Like, I'm not lying. It literally makes everything just stand out more pigmented, last long. Like, you know, it's not called all-nighter for nothing. My favorite eyeliner here from It Cosmetics. It's a superhero liquid liner, and I'm just gonna go for a very subtle natural wing today. Just kidding. I mean, for me this is subtle, honestly, because I always do a super long wing, and I've actually done it longer, so this is pretty subtle for me. You see how the eyeshadows, they're just like more popping now, but as you can clearly see, the pigment, I don't know, just something with the eyeshadow just was not blending properly, and I was on a time schedule, so I just had to do what I do. And I didn't go anywhere, so it's not like anyone saw me looking out here, looking crazy out here in these streets. This is honestly my favorite liner. You see, I'm just zooming by with this eyeliner. Like, I rarely ever mess up because of the bristles. It's like a brush. And you want to coat your lashes, coat it. Get it ready for your lashes that you're about to put on. And I'm going back in with the brightening powder from KKW, and I'm just going in and kind of brightening up the under eye where like any fallout may have, you know, gotten. And like I said, the Huda Beauty setting powder definitely made my under eye a little bit more warmer, and I don't like a super warm under eye. I like it to be a little bit more brighter and defined. So I'm just going back in and tweaking things a little bit more. Alright, and that is the Bobbi Brown highlighter there, and I'm using that to highlight my inner corner, my nose, you know the deal. And I actually love this. I actually got this highlighter on sale at the, what is it called? I think it's a cosmetic store or cosmetic company store. It's basically all Estee Lauder brands of makeup, and they have them discounted sometimes. Sometimes they're like older collections. Doesn't mean it's not expired actually. It's actually things that some of them still sell on the market, retail price, full price actually. But I got it super cheap, and it's going on so pretty. Like I love it. It's like a gold, but it's not too gold and it's not too light either. It's like the perfect shade. And I like highlighters, so excuse me while I glow. And I like to highlight my cupid's bow. It kind of gives your top lip a little bit more powdery look, and then also define your little cupid's bow, like go in and contour it a little bit so it can stand out. And make sure everything is blended. Like I said, don't just stop there, girl. Blend till, well, blend till the cows come home. Spray again. I literally spray my face so many times during the makeup process because I really wanted to lock in. I'm taking this next highlighter from MAC. It's the double gleam, and it's like an extra dimension skin finish, aka a highlighter, and it's lighter than the Bobbi Brown one. It's super white actually, but I like to use that as an accent highlighter, like, you know, to highlight your highlight. And I'm taking Hush Tone blush, also an extra dimensional finish, from MAC, and it's a blush. I like more glowing blushes, like illuminating blushes, shimmer blushes, whatever you want to call it. I just think it makes the cheeks look really pretty and just gives you really nice like glow when you smile. Even when you're not smiling, you'll be like glowing. You know, you're just glowing for no reason. And I like to put that on my nose too. I'm not sure why I like to do it, but I feel like it gives it a very like cute, like dolly look. And I'm taking my NYX liquid liner in the shade white and doing 2 little dots. I actually got this inspiration from Aaliyah's Face on YouTube. I love when she does it. It looks so pretty. So I started doing it. And as you can see, I definitely messed up. Definitely messed up. So I was like super pissed. And this dries super fast. So I couldn't even get it off. Like, it was just not moving. So I had to do what I had to do. I had to make both sides the same. So, you know, you have to make one like the other. And then I'm going to take that same eye and I'm going to do 2 little dots in my inner corner teardrops. I think it looks super cute. Okay, so let me hurry up because my camera is about to die. So let me go ahead and just put on my lashes.
3 hours later.
I'm taking my V.Rose Beauty lashes in Cali. I think these are currently sold out right now, but these are the bomb. Like, I think these are the most dramatic ones they carry on there, and it's so good. Shout out to my girl, Lorena. She's also a YouTuber, and she has her own business. Boss girl, boss lady, whatever you want to call it. But I love these lashes, and they're like super cheap. I think they're like $12 or $13. Now you want to coat your lashes again from the bottom, and that's just to blend everything out. I'm gonna line my lips with MAC's Plum Lip Liner. This one is like a mauve, pinky, purpley, brown, you know, and those are the shades I like. That's my style. I'm just gonna go ahead and line my lips. Okay, now this is the Fenty Beauty Stunna Lip Paint, and it's in the shade Cuffed. It was so pretty. Like, I just love the packaging. It looks so luxurious. Don't mind my ashy hands. I'm sorry. Okay. These are the colors I usually gravitate towards. Oh my god. So flippin' cute. Alright. And we are basically done. Just go back in and like blend that out with your fingers. Gives like a supernatural look. And here is the final look, guys. So here's a close-up of the eyeshadow look that I created. It actually didn't turn out so bad after all that blending that we did. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.